Today I'm going to show you guys the melody formula that helped me get several placements with major artists, and it'll help you do the same if you're a beginner or starting out and trying to get into the melodic trap genre. If you follow this formula in every single melody that you make, there's no reason why bigger producers won't use your melodies and bigger artists won't rap on your melodies as well. So let's get right into it. First and foremost, we must start off with a fire chord progression. And my approach to chord progressions is that the artist must be able to rap on just the chord progression alone. If I can't hear an artist flow just on that, then the chord progression is not good enough. So we're gonna go ahead into the 160 BPM. So let's build a chord progression from here. I love Norfelt piano just to get my ideas out. I'm big on these bass notes. If we do a great job with that, it's gonna come in handy when we come up with a synth bass or 808, just because we want our bass line to sound good. Let's speed it up a little bit. So just from me clicking out those bass notes, I kind of got an idea how the progression is going to sound. So now I'm going to just build out the rest of these chords. So this bass note kind of stays the same here, so I'm going to go ahead and just copy and paste that note again. I think this high octave E might be throwing me off a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, it might sound a little better. And then maybe one. Yeah, I like the way that sounds. So now I'm gonna try to mess around with transposing it up and down, see maybe if I like it in a different key. Yeah, that's hard. So from here, I just lower the bass notes some, and then kind of the notes on each level, I just lower them a little bit because we know that a piano player is not going to play each notes the same amount of velocity. And then from here, we just want to press, I'm on Mac now, so Option S, just to strum it just a little bit, randomize the velocities just a little bit. Let's see what that sounds like. Fire. I think I'm gonna make it longer just for some variation because I got an idea for the second half. Yeah, I think I'm liking that. I feel like we just gotta. Okay, yeah, there we go. All right, and from here, now it's really just about layering. And it's just gonna add a big wide effect to the chords that we have, and it's gonna make the melody start to feel full. So a nice layering plugin that I like to use is this Electra Vintage Keys, and I'm just gonna really just copy in the chord progression. This is a good sound that I enjoy. Gives it like a wide ambient type of effect. But now I'm going to go ahead and render this second pattern, and then I'm gonna find one more sound that I like for another layer. I kind of like this one, so I'm going to go ahead and render that one too. So what I'm going to do is do a little mixing before we get into our next step. So I have my piano right here. I'm just going to turn the stereo separation knob up some, and then with these two layers, I'm going to do some panning. I'm going to pan one of them to the left some, and then pan one of them to the right some, and then also turn up the stereo separation knob over here, and I'm going to go ahead and turn those down. What I like to do is add some type of reverb to the piano too in this process. Ironically, the reverb I like the most is in a delay plugin. That's this one right here. I might mess with the transposition of the chords one more time though, I ain't gonna lie. So I'm gonna pitch this up one actually. It was a little too low for me. Yeah, I like that better. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do a counter melody. Now when it comes to counter melodies, I like to start off with a piano and then work on the sound selection later. And I like to do about 2 counter melodies and then some type of accent or something like that. So I like that little pattern. Then we just kind of build on that. Okay, I like that. Yeah, it's alright. Let's go up. And then I'm gonna press R to randomize some of these notes. And then I'm gonna kind of take out the ones that don't feel like they need to be there, or maybe it could be a little quieter, you know? maybe a little top melody up here. Yeah, I think that's cool. I'm gonna go ahead and copy and paste that. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually replace this one with the contact Nord piano. All right, I like that. And then the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and add another counter melody. This one I'll probably use like Xenology. Anything that has like some type of strings, some type of narrow instrument. Maybe like some orchestral. Kind of follow along with the chord progression a little bit with stuff like this. I like that. But now I think I'm gonna just copy and paste that. Along with that, as you're doing counter melody, sometimes guys, you're gonna hear different things. So like I automatically hear something in this piano that I would probably change. So I'm gonna go ahead and back in here. Now that I made those adjustments, I think I'm gonna go ahead and copy and paste this. And then what I'll do is I'll go in here to Xenology and I might put this up an octave. And now I'm gonna go ahead and start mixing that down. So I think I'm gonna turn it down some, turn the stereo separation up, and I'm thinking of adding a reverb. Now from here, I will try to add some accents or extra counter melodies. See what something like this sounds like. I think I like everything except this one right here. If I made this one unique, then reversed it. Yeah, I think I might go with that, guys. And then I'll just go ahead and mix that down a little bit. I think that's hard. Like I said, chord progression, counter melody, and accent. You know, do your thing with those. Maybe 1 or 2 counter melodies. 3 max counter melodies and accents. You could go vocal. Vocal's optional. So guys, the next step, we're going to go ahead and add a bass, man. Everyone knows about the Rickenbacker bass. You could either use a synth bass or a an actual guitar bass. So I'm gonna use a nice section, of course. Go ahead and copy and paste the chord progression into the bass, and then we kind of go from there. And I might add a couple extra notes in here somewhere. Or maybe low here and then high. You can get creative on the bass pattern too, guys. And I'm gonna take that a little double out. So now we got a nice little bass line. Boom, boom. Maybe we might keep it there. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the mixer too. Go ahead and put it in like, I don't know, maybe turn down a little bit. All right, so guys, that's pretty much the entire melody formula, man. So we did this piano chord progression that started it off. Then we came in and we added our first layer, which is just that chord progression repeated, and the Electro 88 vintage keys. And then we did that twice. So we have our 2 layers right here. Then we added our first counter melody. And then we added our second counter melody with these strings. And then we added another counter melody from this guitar phrase. And then lastly, we added a bass. For the sake of it, guys, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw some mock drums on this just so we have an idea of like what some drums would sound like. Guys, that is the melody formula that I need you guys to start using if you want artists to start using your melodies, if you want producers to start using your melodies. Chord progression, counter melody, accents, vocals optional, and then put a bass on it and get out of there. You ready for drums. Let me know if you learned something from this. Let me know what other videos you guys want to see next. I'm out, man.